Keith, what's good, man? How you, family?
Everything was popping, baby.
I'm chilling. I'm chilling, man. How you? How you, family?
Great.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good, man. Yo, Keith, man. Last time you was on the net, man, you shook up the internet. I ain't gonna lie, big bro. You shook up the internet. The last interview you did, you had a lot of people talking about you, man. I just want to say, man, you one of the best that ever touched the microphone. Real talk, man. And
Look, Brooklyn.
yeah,
Excuse
and shout out to you, man, for really, doing what you did with the game, man, and putting on for Long Island, man. So I just want to give you your flowers on that, man, because you really did a lot in the game, man.
Thank you. Good looking.
Yeah, no problem, no problem. Yo, Keith, man. So tell me how it started for you, man, in the game, man. Like really, how it started for you, and like how you really got into. Because I know you tell the story how, but how it really like started for you in Long Island, like rapping and you hooking up with E, and you being a part of Def Squad and just being there and your first album, man. How it started for you, E.
So, I'm from Central Islip, Long Island,
Hmm.
where K Solo is from,
Hmm.
and he is from Brentwood.
Okay, okay.
So I asked K Solo to take me to Erick Sermon's house.
Hmm.
K Solo came up to Carlton Avenue, and
Okay.
then we was out there hustling and shit. So I just seen him. I said, "Yo, could you take me to E House?" So he took me to E House. He said, "Meet me over there," because he moved in the back of my town. Took me over
Okay.
there.
Okay.
So I knocked on the door, and the rest is history.
Okay, 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 okay. So like when you started at the time when you was rocking with E,
Somebody said K Solo the Latin King. K Solo is the Latin King.
no, you don't know that King. There's a whole different K. We talking about K Solo the rapper, y'all.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's crazy.
Yo, but Keith, like when you went over there to E, like this was the time when he was still with it was still EPMD was still around.
Yeah,
They was still they was still moving at the time when you went over there.
yeah. They was just about to break up. They was going on tour. Nothing
Okay.
really happened. And then the drama occurred afterward, like a little right at the end of it.
Okay, okay, okay,
Word.
okay. So that's when the robbery happened at Paris crib, right?
Yeah.
Okay, okay,
A
okay.
lot of people know the story, but a lot of people might not know the story from your demographics.
Yeah, yeah, no. So explain the story. Because you know a lot, Keith. So we gonna give you the floor to say what you got to say about that story, Keith.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I'm listening.
Yeah, so what really happened? What was really going on at that time between E and Parrish at that time, like before the breakup happened and the whole robbery incident.
What happened with them?
Yeah, what happened with them like around that time with all?
Well, people know this story. You know the story, don't you?
Yeah, I know the story. Yeah, I know the story.
So you want me to be the journalist about what happened? Like I feel kind of funny saying it because I
Yeah,
told the story a lot,
yeah,
and it was like a discrepancy between them. So I
yeah,
can't be one to be here to be like, yo, da 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 da. If
yeah,
you
yeah,
look at
yeah.
my past interviews,
Hmm.
I tell the story, and then people tell the story. Like E&P told their side of the story
Yeah,
on song. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
They did.
Right?
And they told it on beef. Like what I heard was the story where alleged they said that E, the dude that robbed on Paris crib was somebody that was cool with E, and they was trying to like say that E had something to do with the robbery, that when the dude came in there in the crib and all that, and then that's how the group, like, this is during the time they was doing the crossover album, and
Mm-hmm.
this is how the whole situation that was told.
Mm-hmm.
like from from different sides, not E, but really from different sides of the group, that they was basically saying it like that, and that's how the split happened. So like, when the split happened after the crossover album, that's when y'all really was starting, like you and Red was really with E, and y'all was starting Def Squad at that time, right? Keith.
Yeah. See now, and EPMD is together now. So
Mm-hmm.
for go into that story
Mm-hmm.
and like open that can of worms,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? I feel kind of like funny about talking about it because it's
Yeah.
been so long and like they together now. So if I
Yeah.
put any type of foot on anybody's side, it wouldn't
Yeah.
be right now at this
Nah,
moment.
that's understandable. That's understandable. That's understandable. That's understandable. So like, during I was talking about the crossover. So after the crossover album, right, and like the breakup happened, like they was working on your album. So how was it like working on your album, Keith, like around that time? Because your album came out in '94, and like they broke up
Well,
around like
he wasn't
late
working on my
'92.
he wasn't working on my album that time. He was
Oh,
working on
okay. On
after
Red.
when they was like broke up, he was working on his solo album.
Okay. 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 Okay.
Redman was with DOS Effects in Paris and they went overseas and then came back. Then Redman gravitated towards Erick Sermon. And then E brought me around. And then I gravitated towards Red and E. And then E put us on a track together. And then we
Okay.
with Erick Sermon. And I did single Hostile with Eric.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And took it to Def Jam. And then we started on the Keith Murray album after that.
Okay. 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 So tell me, like, how was it like working on that the most beautiful thing in the world album? Like that record is a classic. You know what I'm saying? That whole album is a classic. Like, how was it like working on it, and like the energy that was coming with that album? Because we coming off like E doing his solo album, and Redman success of his solo album. So how was it like being a part of that movement and just coming with that classic?
Well, I was like kind of unconscious because
Hmm.
I just was like new and I just did a single with E and then we started working on my first record. And
Hmm.
then he took me to Jive. And then I was just spazzing out with all sorts of rhymes that I had. And Eric would
Hmm.
break them down and put them into rhyme format for me. Because I had a whole bunch of words and everything, just rhyming. So he
Hmm.
put them into format for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Word.
Yeah. So like, cause like, when you listen to the album, and you could tell like you was rhyming like the whole album straight through. No breaks. You was straight rhyming, and you came with a different type of style that most rappers, you know, wasn't even on that type of style that you was coming with on the album. So like,
Yeah,
and even with it
I'm
was.
glad you said that because
Mhm.
back then you had to have an original style. You couldn't
Mhm.
come in sounding like other people. So I had to figure out like, yo, if I'm gonna come, I gotta come different. So like I took like MC Shan, LL Cool
Mhm.
J, Cool Keith,
Yeah.
Run DMC, EPMD, NWA. I took all of those formulas and I
Mhm.
mixed them up. And then I
Mhm.
put the schoolboy scholar vocabulary science into it. And then I came up with my own style. And then
Yeah.
I started like holding my words and harmonizing. So I kind of was like singing, but rapping a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Before now, it's all is sourcing. But if you listen to my album,
Mhm.
ooh, I might lose my cool, break fool, and pull out my get busy tool. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? I was
Yeah.
holding my words longer than the average rapper would. So I was
Yeah,
kind of like harmonizing.
yeah, yeah. So like, let me ask you, Keith. Like, because the competition, because you dropped in '94, and the competition was very like high around that time. You had Nas coming out. You had Biggie. You had the Wu that just came out before your album, and you had the Onyx. So like, with like the competitive nature that was around that time in '94, and and you shined in that year. You
Hmm.
felt like, and the style you was coming with was like a East Coast, I would say like an East Coast version of the G Funk sound, because you had a lot of G Folk sounding records on the album with an East Coast sound. So it was like it was a gumbo of East Coast, boom bap, and G Funk in a mix and a fusion. So it was different. I would say like that whole album was so different that a lot of
Exactly.
artists is still trying to duplicate what you did, and they still, and until this day, they still trying to sample most beautiful thing in this world. So, how you felt that with the Nas's and the Biggies and Outcasts and everybody that was coming out in '94, like how you felt like being like that rookie, that prospect, that MVP of the '94 era.
So I'm glad you asked that question because I didn't look at it as competing with nobody.
Mhm.
I just was like doing my own thing, and I
Mhm.
happened to come out around the time they did.
Mhm.
So it was cool that I didn't sound like them because I wasn't looking at them to be like, yo, I gotta outdo them. I gotta outdo this. I just was
Yeah.
doing me, and I
Mhm.
fit in, and I was separated. You know what I'm saying? But
Mhm.
fortunately, it worked out because I didn't sound like nobody. And Erick, you're right. Erick did have the West Coast funk sound plus the East Coast boom bap with it. Cause he
Mhm.
put the Roger Trapman in there. And E is
Yeah.
real funky with it. Cause he's a
Mhm.
music person. So
Mhm.
we got an all around sound. So we was respected and accepted by East
Mhm.
Coast, West Coast,